Welcome to the Borderlands Trail and Ultra Running Podcast. My name is Josh. I'm the host. My dude Wolfie is with me today, Brian Peterson, and Emily Hawgood. I am stoked today to get to interview Emily. Emily, you could fill a thimble with what I know about Zimbabwe, and I apologize for that. So out of the gates, tell us the good things about Zimbabwe. What is someone who knows very little? What should we know about Zimbabwe?
That it's such a beautiful place. The animals are incredible. You know, just think of elephants and crocodiles and hippos and
all the stuff that we would stereotype about Africa. That's where it's at.
That's where it's at, yeah. And the people are just, their hearts are just so full and joyful, and doesn't matter what state of life they're in. It's just this really special place.
That's awesome. All right, so in this photo, I'm going to show you a photo. So this is the thing that we're working on. I'm still trying to flesh this out, but the idea is that I go into your Instagram and I try and find the first running photo that exists on your Instagram. Okay?
Nice.
So I went deep. All right.
Oh, yeah, you did.
One, is that the Zimbabwe flag around you?
Yes.
And what can you tell me about the person in this photo?
That she was dabbling in triathlons, trying to see if that was going to be her sport.
And?
And it didn't end up being it. I didn't like sitting on the bike.
Do you think if you were to talk to that person in that photo right now, is that person not surprised or surprised at who you've become, the accolades the things that you've accomplished in the sport of ultra running and running with Adidas and all of that? Is that person in that photo? I'm thinking that's 2014, 2015. What do you think? Yeah. What does she think?
Oh, she'd be so proud. She would just burst into tears. She never thought a life like this would be possible, and just excited that following her dreams really paid out.
That's awesome. And so when you say a life like this, tell us about it. I know you came from Zimbabwe to Idaho. What is a life like this? What's your day in and day out life?
Yeah, I mean, I get to do what I love every single day. Running is truly my passion. But over and above that, I get to be surrounded and share life with the most incredible people. I really have felt like God has brought all the people into my life that are meant to be here. And this year especially, I walked into a PT massage place and I'm like, whoa, you guys, I've been looking for you guys for years. Now I just feel like I have the right team and just kind of not just living a professional athlete life, but actually living the life I've maybe that was the wildest dreams, possibilities to get to explore the world and share it.
Amazing. I mean, okay, I got a game here for you. It's called which of these two times is your red hot finishing time and which one is my red hot finishing time? Okay, are you ready?
No.
Which 7 hours and 30 minutes? Whose red hot finishing time is that?
Yours.
Yeah. 5 hours and 15 minutes. Whose is that?
Mine.
Good job. That's the only year you did that in 2018. That's the only year I didn't run red hot. My favorite race. I'll tell you, the great tragedy of ultra running to me is that our VIPA took over the January, February race schedule for the elites because I loved going to Red Hot every year and seeing runners like you and Anthony Costales and Hayden Hawks. That was the first big race for him. And gosh, Alex Nichols, the list just goes on and on. I loved Red Hot. So when I saw that as one of your finishing times, I got super pumped. Wolfie, what do you got?
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, we're here. It's Western States, so doing a little digging. Emily, this will be your fifth time lining up at Western States, right? I mean,
yep.
That's crazy.
What a privilege. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about and for the 95, just kind of the everyday runner. And very few of us, run Western States, and even fewer probably have multiple attempts at the race distance. So tell us about that. What do you find in your evolution at States? What have you learned just from being there, 5 times, and how hard is it to not fight against always trying to reconstruct something that maybe you've been successful at before, but because you're back there, you're trying to always pick at the margins?
That's lots of questions. You might have to remind me of
Yeah.
of all the parts. But first off, such a big privilege. Like I step up every year, very privileged to be there, and yeah, super grateful for the opportunity. And kind of just from your original question, with surrounded by the most incredible people, really being a part of this community here, and feeling like I am running home when I step up to the start line. Yeah, each year is so different. I never feel like I have to carry over anything from a year before, which is kind of cool. And I think I give huge kudos to my coaches, Paul Lind and Pat McCurry, in that we never do anything the same either. I mean, we stick with things that work in training well, but then the whole year always looks different, which makes it easy to step up to the start line and kind of just be like, okay, let's go. Let's see what today holds and how we can put this one together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned so much. Every race, I like, not just Western States, but every race I learn a lot. And maybe carrying that into each year is kind of more the goal than trying to carry like what I do or whatever. It's kind of outside of that. Like, how do I look after myself? How do I make sure the body's put together, enough rest, enough mileage, maybe enough, focus on intensity or easy miles, things like that. And just kind of getting the mind, body, and soul all aligned to step up to the start line better each year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you probably find that you learn more about yourself during each race than the course specifically, right?
Right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Yeah.
We share faith, right? So we're believers here, and I think that's incredible to bring up in the podcast. And I'm just curious, like, do you have any like unique devotions that you put in place before a race, or anything special that you go to when things get challenging, or to stay positive and pull energy from your faith?
Yeah. Every step I feel like in a race I'm very deep in prayer the whole time. It's kind of just minding God's time. You just get to run out there. I've always said he's my best friend, and getting out there, there's no real distraction. There's no one to chat with or anything but him. So that's kind of a cool place to be. And yeah, when it gets really tough, I just like speak to him and say like, hey, please like run with me, and guide my step, guide, like keep me on track into like taking my food in, taking my calories in. My big focus, especially this year, has been to kind of run his love and joy. And when I feel like I'm slipping away from that, like my mind wanders to things that have intimidated me before, or on negative thoughts, just to really pray to him like, hey, like, can we, help me to stay in your joy and your presence, and just be with me throughout it all. It was kind of cool at Canyons. There was a song that I'd listened to before, and it actually came on my playlist while I was running, and it's called The Fight of My Life. I don't know if you guys have heard that one. I don't even know who it's by. I have to look it up. But kind of the words from that just have really stuck with me, and just like that he's there for kind of the fight of my life.
Right. Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah. I think a lot of times when I feel weak, I know he's strong. So I just celebrate that and always just, your strength, not mine. So yeah, they're great rallying cries out there for us to dig deeper. And, I think that's what's fun, is to find those similarities between us that, finish in the middle of the pack, back of the pack, or anywhere on race day, and the elites. Like, we share a lot of the same mindsets out there. So that's awesome.
If I can piggyback on that, Emily, I'm curious then, okay, so you talked about like a very dynamic sort of discussion or interaction.
Mm-hmm.
What is there a mantra then? Okay, so like when you lose, okay, I lose the ability, and I'm far from elite. I'm just saying there's a point where I lose the ability to have any sort of dynamic engagement with anything and anybody, but I still need to figure out a way to keep going forward. Is there like a mantra, is, right foot, left foot kind of thing? Like, is there anything that you use, that you have, that, that you pull from, that you settle into?
I mean, kind of like every day, just that fight. A few years ago, my family was going through a bunch of stuff, and I found that quote, like, if you fight, I'll fight. Let's go. Let's fucking go. And that is when I can't keep that energy, like you're saying, that active conversation, that is what kind of comes to mind. And, I can be like crying super hard because I'm working so hard, knowing that I'm like giving it everything in that moment, and that just comes to mind. And yeah, so that would be it.
Amazing. Well,
That's awesome.
we just want to get a shout out to Emery Atterbury at Hyperlyte Liquid Performance for teeing this up and helping make this happen. We're big fans of theirs, obviously working together on some stuff, and I know that you are as well. So I want to acknowledge that. Fee, in the final seconds, anything left for you?
Well, I mean, yeah, but let's give her a little bit more runway for this one, because the question is going to be a little bit messy. Or, anyways, we don't get to talk to women elite very often, and something I've always been fascinated with is like, how's the race dynamics as you're working through the later stages of the race, and you're probably around a lot of the men's field as well. Like, do you find motivation in working together with them? Is there much talking? Or it's just always fascinating because I think you kind of see that dynamic play out, but we don't kind of hear from the women as far as like how that interaction between the races are.
Yeah, I think the guys are what make the women step up even better. Like,
Awesome.
always having someone to like chase and really push you to be better. I think we talk about
that's
it a
cool.
lot. Like, you have girls around you all the time that are pushing you to be better, but the guys are the ones right beside you. Like, you talked about Red Hot. That was my first kind of opportunity to see that happen. And I ended up having a girl chase me down like the finish chute. We were like 10 seconds apart. And the whole time I've been running with the guys, like, I know this girl behind me is a sprinter. Like, she shines on the roads. Like, I don't want to get into a sprint at the end with her. And the two guys, it was super funny. We're coming down 1K to go, and they look back because they're like my eyes and ears, looking back, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's coming!" I'm like, "Wait, this is what I didn't want." And they're just like, "Go, go, go!" And they're just like sprinting with me, and we sprinted into the finish. And like, yes, that I would hate our races to be split up, because that's what makes our sport so special and really pushes us to achieve more and more, is that opportunity to get to race with the guys.
Love it.
Great perspective. Hey, after the race, sometime in the future, can we have you on for a longer interview? It'd be fun to talk longer.
Yeah, I'd love that. I really, really, really would.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you have a good rest of the day, and good luck at States.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. God bless.